So the monk's life is an example of religious life. So what is religion? That should be depicted in the life of monk. So the first and foremost is, it's not attached in anything, not craving for, hankering for name, fame, and at the same time, without all those things, he is very happy. So that is the whole thing in the life. We see in the life of Jesus Christ also the same way, and the two different missions in the life of monk. One is practicing religion, another is propagating religion. These two, practicing and propagating. If you see look at the life of Bhagavan Buddha, the same, Jesus the same, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the same, Sri Krishna the same, Shankaracharya, Ramanuja the same. So dharma palan, dharma shiksha. So you have to practice religion, you have to teach religion. Some of them, they only practice, they don't teach. But only through their life they teach, like Raman Maharshi. He never came out. He never wanted to go and give a lecture, but his life attracted other people. Then he used to say one or two words, a little bit of a lecture type, not in a big way. That is the difference. Again, another is like a missionary. And they try to practice, and then they go and propagate about the good thing. So that is called the missionary. So these are the examples of the monks. Now one gentleman, he was asking me, I think in Pittsburgh, so he was asking me, suppose I ask you, have you seen God? What would be your answer? Then I replied, I said, suppose I say, yes, I have seen God. What will be your reaction? Do you have any conception about God? If you don't, either will believe my words or will disbelieve my words. And if I say, no, I have not seen God, you will immediately feel against me.
Right.
Oh, this man has not seen God, that man has not seen God, that means there is no God. So that type of conclusion he will reach, that is also wrong. So God realization is not a matter of joke. Swami Vivekananda is telling, out of millions, only one or two they try. Those who are trying, 80% of them become hypocrites. And 15% become mad. They cannot keep their... And then only 80 and 15, that means 95. 5% they genuinely try, 1% of them may realize God. It's not just a joke that a few days we sit in a corner, close our eyes, control our breathing, and you realize God. It's not like that. So, Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Look at that in the Bhagavad Gita. Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhai. Kaschid, by chance. Among the, not Sahasra means 1,000, but it is not 1,000. Millions and millions among these. A few handful, Kaschid, by chance, may try to realize. Yatatam api siddhyanam, those who are trying to realize God, even those handful, those who are trying, yatatam api siddhyanam, kaschit mam vetti tattvata. Only a few, a lucky one, will realize me truly, understand me truly, tattvata. This tattva, that means it's a different thing. Tattvata means You have to understand God truly. Otherwise, Swami Vivekananda, when he came to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was doubting Sri Ramakrishna as many other people. Then slowly he understood, he realized who Sri Ramakrishna is. He understood that Sri Ramakrishna Tattvata. And many they understood Sri Ramakrishna, tried to understand Sri Ramakrishna in a many different ways. Some people, they used to come to Sri Ramakrishna to get acquaintance with the other influential rich people. Because many of the landlords, many of the government officials, many rich people, they used to come over there. So some people, they used to come to get acquaintance with them. That is one type of people. Another type of people, they used to come to fulfill their desires. I am having this body problem, mental problem, family problem, social problem. So if I go and have the company of the holy person, maybe that will be solved. Third type of people used to come out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Is it really Then one person came in the Kathamrita, if you read, he came and he sat before Thakur, keeping his right leg on his left leg, showing that he is somebody. And then, while patting his feet with his hand, he was asking Thakur. So through the description, you can visualize what type of person he is. Then he is asking Thakur, what do you say about Brahman, the Brahma and Vishnu? Who is greater among the Brahma and Vishnu? So Thakur, he said, see, I don't know. But one person asked the same question to that Pandit, he is a very famous scholar. So he asked that question to him, and his reply was, I was not present in that meeting where it was decided. So, obviously, sarcastically, so what is that to you? Suppose I say Brahma is greater than the Vishnu, what that to you? You have not seen Brahma, you have not, and that is nothing for you. And if it is Vishnu, that is also nothing for you. Just intellectual jargonism and intellectual satisfaction, they come out of curiosity. But fourth type of people, they were serious. And many of them sitting over here. These 16 young people, they came to Sri Ramakrishna and they were really very serious. And they wanted to realize God. And they realized God. So that is the main thing. Some people, that in the Bhagavad Gita also says, the four type of people, they come to me. Artharthi, he wants the money. And then the ultimately one who is Gyani cha Bharatasya, who is a Gyani, that person is. So the religion is nothing but knowledge. Very simple.
How about the grace factor?
Yeah, that will come. The grace. So today the topic is Ma Sharada Devi, the embodiment of the divine grace. So now the grace factor, right? See, I was just thinking in this way. We have heard about in the Christian this theology, they always say about pardon. So you have committed some mistakes, they call it sin, so you are pardoned. Okay. And then forgiveness, that's also sort of a pardon. But what about the grace? It is very difficult. When a person asks Jesus Christ, how many times shall I forgive my brother? When Jesus said, 70 times 7, that is in the parable it comes. 70 times 7 means every time you have to forgive him. Because anytime any person may do mistake, but you have to be careful and then forget. Try to help him to understand what is the mistake and then try to help him to grow. That's all. This is forgive and the pardon and all this. What is about grace? In Sanskrit they say kripa. Kri means do. Pa means get. You do, you get. That's called kripa. You have to perform, you have to try, and then only you will get it. Otherwise not. Again in the Bible we find that they say, knock the door and it will be open unto you.
Yeah.
Then at least you have to do the knocking.
Knocking, yeah.
If you don't do that knocking, striving, trying, praying, how the grace will come? So that grace is, you have to try, you have to knock the door, you have to pray, you have to strive yourself. How you will do, what you will do, what the Guru asks you to do. So that's why the conception of Guru, the preceptor, always they will guide you, tell you. How they will guide? So constantly people, they need a Guru that they will be always in their company. Any problem? Guru, what is the problem? Do you think that by that way you will get a Guru? No. The Guru means his instruction only. Some people, they like to serve the Guru. And they are always rejected in the Ramakrishna mission. If you have the Guru, you cannot serve the Guru. In one place they were asking me, please come and give the initiation, but you have to come and stay here for 7-8 days. And why? One day is sufficient. Well, no, because all they will be your disciple and they will invite you to go to their home. And I told, if I go on visiting the disciples' home, then afterwards I will never remain a Guru. I will become a householder again. So that cannot be. I cannot go do like that. Why should I have to go? Now they like to serve you. Serving Guru means whatever instruction the Guru has given, if you follow that, that is the greatest service. You need not to cook, that is all separate. If you cook and if you give and if you do something you are presenting, that is you are out of love you are doing. But if you don't even do that, only practice what the Guru says. So kripa, the grace, you have to strive, you have to practice, and then you will get. So kripa. Then another they say ahetuki kripa, another word, ahetuki. There is no hetu. Hetu means no reason. There is no reason even then the flow of grace is coming. That you cannot explain. That depends on the God's will. Sometimes the God wishes that I will give this to you. You cannot go and say, hey, he has not done the puja and all those things. Why you are giving him? To explain this, please come. To explain this, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling one beautiful story. And he is telling, one person went in a jungle to collect some faggots. And suddenly it became dark. So it became very difficult for him to return back. So he climbed on the tree and he was waiting over there. So that he thought, let the night go and then I will return back. So he was there that way. He was sitting. Midnight, he found one person he brought one dead body and kept the dead body over there, cleaned that area and started doing some tantra achara. That is the practice, is some of the type of thing. he was sitting on the dead body and he was going on uttering the mantra. Slowly, slowly the dead body, it got the life, and then he was feeding that dead body, and this was going on. When almost the time has come, he was sitting over there, he was listening all the mantras that he was uttering, he was seeing what is going on. He could see that everything, suddenly, almost, he could feel that something is going to happen, something very good thing. Suddenly one tiger came, pounced on the man and took him away. And then this man thought, since the tiger has already got the food, it won't come back. Why not me go and try, because everything is ready. And I know the mantras also. So he climbed down from the tree, he sat on the dead body, the Shabbat, and he sat on him, and then he was going on uttering, repeating those mantras. Only a few mantras he uttered, and just he was, as he saw that person who was doing, he did that. Immediately Goddess Kali appeared before the person and told, I am very happy, now tell me, what do you want? My bone. And this person told, I will ask the bone, but before that, please, you answer this question. I was not knowing all this. I came here only to collect some fagots. And out of curiosity, I sat over here. The person who organized everything, he took so much of trouble to bring his dead body, and he was all night he was practicing. And he was killed by the tiger. And I didn't do anything, and you have come here to bless me? Then the mother smiled and told, you have done all those things in your previous birth. Only a little that was remaining. And that you completed, so I have come to bless you. So the Ahitiki Kripa, we can explain in this way, in our previous birth, some good thing that we have already done, and this life suddenly somebody is getting so many things. So someone, just because he is the son of the Prime Minister, he becomes the Prime Minister. Though he is not having that quality, he is not having that all this kripa, that way. We are angry, we are not happy, but at the same time, you cannot simply deny. So this is the thing. One boy, he is not capable, but he gets his father's fortune. His father earned everything and gave it to the dead boy. When he died, then everything came to him. Other people who are striving, serving, they are earning a little bit, and they can say, what is this? This fellow did do nothing actually. So this is the last birth. He took birth as his son to enjoy all this. So kripa is this way, the grace it comes, but the divine grace, for that you have to do at least something. In the last sloka, 700 sloka of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. The Sanjaya was a very holy person. This Sanjaya, he is telling, and he was narrating the whole thing, and the last sloka, 700, that sloka of Bhagavad Gita, he is giving his comment. Yatra, where? Yogeshwara Krishna is the God with his miraculous power, with his divine power. Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Partha means the human being. Dhanurdhara, striving. Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Tatra, there. Sri Vijaya Bhuti Dhruvaniti Matir Mama. So that, I think, to me, there every success comes. Yatra, these two, the grace of God and the striving of the human being. There only the success comes, and that is called kripa. Kri means you have to do, kriya, karma, kri. And pa, you get. So, you have to strive, and then only the Lord Krishna. But suppose you are trying, but without having any faith in God, what will happen? That is also, suppose you are striving, but at the same time, you don't believe in God. Many people are there. So they won't believe in God, they don't wait for the grace of God. So they are striving, they are also achieving, they are also getting. But at the same time, ultimately, they may not get the peace that they were supposed to get. How the kripa comes, that we see in the life of Swami Vivekananda. Though Swami Vivekananda we know now, because Sri Ramakrishna has disclosed that he was not an ordinary soul. But still, when he came, let us start from there. A 29 years young man, a graduate from Calcutta University, and he came all the way from India to America, and America was unknown for the Indians.
Yes.
At that time. It is only Vivekananda who really propagated about America. The long back in the 17th, 18th century, I think 1776, the first president of America, he had sent one ambassador to Calcutta, the then capital of the Britain, Mr. Benjamin. Then George Washington, he sent that Benjamin. But the Britishers, they were then powerful. So they were totally not expressed that you won't accept him, but not giving welcome to him also. So he had to come back. The Mr. Benjamin came back. And there was no representation of the Americans there in Calcutta, in India. Then one Bengali person, he was a businessman. He started helping the American merchants because American merchants were not allowed. So the franchises in those days he made. So the 3 ships, so many things they took and they reached over there, and the Britishers were refusing them. So this gentleman came, so Ram Dulal. So Ram Dulal, he took that and he did all the business over there on behalf of the Americans. So the Americans were very happy. So the Boston, one person named his ship as Ram Dulal.
Oh.
This is very interesting. So the Bengali person, he became that time as not officially, but as an ambassador of America in India, the then capital of the British. So we were not knowing about America, but India was known to the Europe. Many of the Europeans used to go, particularly British, French, German, and all this. Now this 29 years old man, he came all the way without knowing where he is going. Think of it. First is endeavor. I am going to do that. And I don't care even if I die for that. And he came over here, of course at the behest of Sri Ramakrishna, that we know. Then after reaching over here, now when we are coming, we always try to get assured that somebody is waiting for me.
Yeah.
I rang so many times to Chaya that who is going to receive me, what is his name and number, because I was wondering what I will do after reaching over there. So just here only, it's nothing, you can just hire a cab and come. But I was thinking I don't have the address and what. So I was assured when that person rang me and told I'll be there. Now think of the Vivekananda, he came here totally unknown. Then he was striving. First he reached to that Chicago, then he found that the thing for which he came, that is parliamentary religion, it will be in September, so another 2 months left, it is very late. So he came early, he was searching for some place where he can live in little money. So all these things happened. Again he came back with a certificate from a great professor, but that also he misplaced. So he misplaced the address, whom to go and meet. He misplaced the certificate that the professor they gave. Now he was sitting still there in Chicago. Many of you perhaps have seen that particular church.
Yeah.
On the steps of that church, Vivekananda sat, and then he gave the whole mind to God. Now I have tried my best. Now you want me to die hunger and cold, okay. So let me die. When he sat like that, totally dedicating him to God, the grace of God came. Here the grace.
Yes.
The grace of God came how? The grace of God came through one lady. Just across the road there is a building, and that lady, she came and she told the Swami, why you are sitting over here? Are you the representative of the parliamentary religion? The mother, I have come to attend that, but I don't have any credential. I was not knowing, I am coming from India. The name India was totally unknown for the Americans. And the Indian means the local Americans.
Yeah, American Indian.
But still she invited him to take to her house, and they became the guardians, local guardians. If this is not grace, then what is the grace? Her husband was an influential person and the member of the parliamentary religion. Everything was arranged. Vivekananda went. As if all these things are done by Mr. and Mrs. Hell. But is it truly the Mr. and Mrs. Hell? No. This is the grace of God through that person.
Yes.
He is doing it. So if you believe, you believe. Otherwise you say, oh, this is because of the Mr. and Mrs. Hell. Otherwise, where Swami Vivekananda would have been. But it is the grace of God. And that's why the God chose those people to help him. One after another, different type of people came. One lady came. She was very good organizer. And Swami Vivekananda, he was introduced all over the American society, in all over America, through her. As because she had lot of connections in the upper society, she used to organize meeting in different cities, invite all those people, and Swamiji used to go and talk to them. So where from that lady came? Why she became so much dedicated to Swamiji? And she never said that I am a disciple of Vivekananda. She said I am the friend of Vivekananda. And long afterwards, when she used to go to Belur, young monks, they used to ask, the Tantin, what is your age? Usually, you are not supposed to ask the age of a lady, and particularly in America, Europe, that is the norm. And just to make fun, elderly lady. But Stanton used to say, my age is only 5 years or 6 years. What is it? How come? The day I met Swami Vivekananda, I was reborn.
Yes.
So all my past years is nothing. From that moment, I was born and I am doing the service of God. So that is called grace. The Tantin, Miss MacLeod, she has become immortal as because she came in contact with Swami Vivekananda. Similarly, another lady, Sister Nivedita, Margaret Noble, she was an ordinary teacher in a school. But as because she came and helped Swami Vivekananda, joined in his mission, and now she is immortal. So are the many. Because whoever joined in this, But the grace is this. Now finally we can say Ma Sharadamani Devi is the embodiment of that grace. How? See, the God works with two things. Always we work with two things. One is intellect, another is action. The thought is there, knowledge is there, and the action is also there. If the knowledge is there and there is no action, it is no movement. Nothing is creating. So to do that to something you have to create, you have to have these two things. God, in the goddess Kali, if you see the image of goddess Kali, you will see the two things. One, the garland of human skull, that is the symbol of knowledge, and the hands, human hands, covering as a dress, the mother. So that is the symbol of work. So the knowledge and the action, these two go together. The God also, his own action, his own thought, his own knowledge, but he separates it from himself. And he takes his action in a different way. And to make it easy for us to understand, they have given the shape of a lady, mother. So the father and the mother we can understand. So, the Sri Ramakrishna and Ma Sharada. If you look at all the gods and goddesses, they are having one goddess, the Shakti. We think that is the wife. No, it is Shakti only, but in the form of a mother. Here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the God, has come, and then the mother, Ma Sharada Devi. Sri Ramakrishna introducing her. Do you think she is an ordinary lady? She is my Shakti. The Shakti means the power of God. And what is that power of God? How the Shakti is working through knowledge. And two different types of knowledge. Para and apara. That is spiritual knowledge and mundane knowledge, both. And that is the power and the action. This mother, Swami Sri Ramakrishna, she kept her because in this modern age, we cannot strive in that way. As they used to do is to practice austerities at the time of Sri Ramachandra. If you read the life of those, the Munis and Rishis, how much they used to work. At the time of Mahabharata Krishna, and before that also, before Ramachandra, at the time of the Satya Yuga, Satya, Dapa, Trita, but Kali Yuga, the lifespan is short. And the people are engaged in so many things. So the 100% dedication for the realization of God is impossible. But God is gracious. As the Christians, they say, the man was made by God out of his own image. Everything has been created by God, but man is human, is special. Why? Because God's own image. What is that image means? That God looks like me? No. I have the power of discrimination and I have the power of love. These are the two qualities. The discrimination means between good and bad. I know what to choose. And I have the power of love. Each and every soul is having the love. That love is only bound by family and these and that. When that boundary is broken, that is spiritual love. The love without any boundary, that is spiritual love. That a human being is having. And also the discriminating faculty, which no other creatures are having. So that's why only human being can understand what is permanent and what is impermanent. What is good and what is bad. If you can't understand what is good and bad, you will suffer in life. So you must have to understand and utilize that power, discriminative power. In English they say man is known by his company. If you are in a bad company, people will say, oh, that means he don't have the discrimination. So always you should have the discriminative faculty so that you can understand what is good and bad. And here the discriminative faculty should be utilized for the purpose of understanding permanent and impermanent. What is impermanent? Everything. Right from the sun down to the blade of grass, everything is impermanent. It's going to change, going to be destroyed. Then what is permanent? God. So that is the understanding. And this human being, when they put their whole mind, majority of the human being, putting their, particularly the leaders of the society, when they are giving much attention to the body, which is impermanent, and physical pleasure, which is impermanent, then it's called the dharma glani. In the Bhagavad Gita it says, yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bhava. What is that glani? Deterioration of the dharma. I have seen in the many of the temple, the priest, they are having nearly 10 or 12 this golden chain, a very costly golden chain. All the 5, 10 fingers are having not only one, two rings. And where they are standing? In the God. And they are so boastful, they'll be, Abjan, do you know who am I? I can take you directly to God. And I was wondering, my, you should try to go to God. You are taking me to God. So that discriminative faculty is lost. Sri Ramakrishna, through the small anecdote stories, he explains this. The one Pandit, he was a very highly scholar, he used to come and he used to teach Bhagavata to a king. Bhagavata is the life of Sri Krishna, but it is full of different descriptions and also the high spiritual values. And after the 1 hour discourse, the Pandit used to ask the king, have you understood? Every time king used to say, Pandit, you understand first. And it is an insult for the teacher. Oh my God, but he is a king. And he is a poor person, so he could not say anything, he could not retaliate. Every time he used to come and say, why king is telling like that? It is an insult to me. I am explaining in such a nice way. Why can't he understand? He himself is a fool and he is blaming like that because he is having the sword and the administrative power. I had to swallow these insults, etc. One day, morning, he was reading the Bhagavata. Suddenly that thing, that discrimination, it came within his mind. Why do I go to king? He never invited me to go. I myself go. It is his greatness and courtesy that he sits before me and listens to the Bhagavata for all 1 hour. And then he gives me some food and some donations. I actually go not for the Bhagavata, I actually go for that donation. But in the Bhagavata it says, God alone exists and nothing else. If that is true, why do I go to king? Why not to God? Why I am not praying to God? So that dawned in his mind. He didn't go to king. The 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, then the king came to him. How is this, Pandit, you are not coming? I have understood the Bhagavata. Now I won't go to you. He became fearless. He never hesitated to tell the truth on the face of the king. I am not going to please you anymore. If I die, I will die thinking about God.
Right.
And if God wishes, He will keep me living over here. So I have understood Bhagavata right now. Then the king bowed down and said, that is true. So this is called discrimination. If you understand what is true, then there is no problem. So this discrimination, when it gets destroyed or deteriorates, then the human being behaves like the animals. They just look like the human being. They developed in many other things, but psychologically, intellectually, morally, spiritually, bankruptcy. They cannot get anything. So unhappiness everywhere. And they go and knock their head almost in every nook and corner to get little happiness. They don't get. So that is called this dharma glani. When the majority of the society, particularly the leaders of the society, they forget what is truth. They fail to discriminate. So naturally their love, it becomes only self-centered. Let me only live and let others die. And I don't mind cheating others, killing others, only to get the benefit for me. So their love is becoming so narrow, their discrimination faculty totally inactive. And that is called dharma glani. And then the God again come, take the human form, again come down to this earth. And that's called yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Everywhere, particularly after the Mahabharata, they'll be chanting like that, but without understanding what is dharma glani. This is dharma glani. There are two conceptions. One is soul, that is subtle. Another is gross, that is body. If your mind goes more to that body, then it is dharma glani. But when it is a balance, when it is a equal, the perfect dharma. Not that each and every one should have to put their mind only on soul, neglecting the body. That is also not good. Only a handful, those who have already achieved that knowledge, for them it is all right. The Jains, that is a real, very tough practice. But they won't move, fearing that they may hurt the insects. They won't go and pluck even the fruits to eat. They'll be waiting for the fall to fall and then eat. Is it possible for each and everyone to practice that?
No.
So obviously it is the highest type of austerity. Only a handful, a chosen few can practice. It is not for the all. For the all, as Ramachandra, yesterday we were discussing, he did. So this is, both should go together. So the mother came, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna came, because all people forgot again, because of the real Hinduism, that conception was lost, because some people came from outside and they was ruling us. And they were not having any background of the Veda or that wonderful knowledge. So naturally, degradation came in such a way in every society, particularly in Indian society, so that God had to come once again to revive the religion. How he revived the religion? In the next lecture we will discuss that God, Sri Ramakrishna, he took 3 forms. But here let me conclude by the word of the grace that we were discussing. What type of grace? We told it is kripa. You must have to do something, then you will get. Here the Ma, Sharadamani Devi, she promised the power of God. She promised, if anyone call me mother, I cannot say no to that person. So that is called grace. But you have to call the mother. That kri, that doing, that action you have to take. Only genuinely you have to call mother. Mother, I am in difficulty. Please help me. And with the faith, the mother is going to help because mother promised. That's all. And that is called grace. There you need not to hesitate to take the decision whether really mother will come. No, just promise. She will come. And that is called grace. Thank you for now.
Talking about the mother, the word kripa, you said, do something, then you will get. Now the question comes, doing something is alright, or doing much better than alright, there's something, degree of doing, extent of doing, that question remains. If somebody doesn't get kripa, he or she will think that, well, I have not done properly. I have done something, but not properly. What is proper? That is the question. Second is the whole thing is kripa. If you have to do something, that's not ahituki kripa.
I was telling you, another is ahituki kripa, whether you, that I explained with the story.
Yeah, right. Now see, the ahituki kripa is that God's grace is unconditional. Now, if that is the case, God's grace is unconditional, then all these things, doing something doesn't exist.
You do not know whether you will get the grace unconditionally. You do not know. And this moment we are thinking, in this life we are thinking that it is unconditional. Like the person who was not actually calling on Goddess Kali, but he was blessed. Then the Goddess Kali explained, last birth indeed all this. So this moment we think that these people are not doing anything but got the blessings of God. But maybe that in the previous birth they already did. So that is the thing. So many disciples came to Sri Ramakrishna, all of them are unique. But Sri Ramakrishna accepted Rakhal Maharaj, afterwards Swami Brahmananda, as his own son. But not all. So that is the Sri Ramakrishna said, he who was Krishna, he who was Rama in this body, right? So you can have the link. The link is the same Krishna has taken birth, second form as Sri Ramakrishna. And who is the Rakhal? He is the Braja Gopal again. Sri Ramakrishna said, he is not ordinary, he is the Braja Gopal. So this Rakhal, in this birth, he was in the Braja along with the Krishna. This time, as a Sri Ramakrishna and the Rakhal, so he is my son. So, this life we see, ahituki kripa. The Rakhal did nothing, but Sri Ramakrishna accepted him. Rakhal never prayed also, please accept me your son. Sri Ramakrishna took him as his son. Why? If we go back, then we can understand. He was always graceful on Swami Vivekananda because he knew his past. So he was the Rishi, Shapta Rishi at Rishi. So this way if we see that this is called the grace. Then this is called ahituki kripa. And the kripa. And now your first question, with what intensity we will work? No, kripa, with what intensity? It is in our Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya, he said, Adhikarinam ashaste phala siddhi visheshata. Is everything depends on the adhikari. Adhikarinam ashaste. Here in this American universities, this is a subject you like to study, right? You can study for 6 months, you can simply go and sit for the exam within a month or two, if you are prepared. Like that, there also, if you are prepared, if you have cleans your mind, then you will get kripa immediately. The main thing is you have to make your mind prepared. How to make the mind prepared? That you have to clean your mind. How to clean that mind? So yesterday we were discussing the 4 paths are there: karma, jnana, bhakti and yoga. By doing that, when you become totally unselfish, what is unselfishness again? That love. So human being is having only 2 qualities. One is discrimination and another is love. Love is already there within us, and that love, when it expands, that is spiritual love. Unselfish love. We think for everyone without expecting any result. So when you are prepared, you get the blessings.